Yep, it's raining during qualifying. Good old British weather, huh? I mean, you look at the real life British Grand Prix that happened this year and it was super duper hot, but this one, it's super duper wet. Wouldn't be Britain otherwise. I don't really like wet weather races. Yeah, just in general really. It's really kind of annoying that your car is constantly wheel spinning, and even though I do my best to keep throttle control, it's really difficult to stop the wheels from wheel spinning. That's just how it is, I'm afraid. Though in my defense, I do play on a controller and not a wheel. I can't really afford a big old wheel set. Yeah, because the rain was in qualifying, it really hampered my chances, and even though I have gone faster, it's only 18th. Woo!
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we discuss McLaren? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Gasly, Ocon, Sainz, Ricciardo, and Lando Norris, Perez, Stroll, Alexander Albon, and Magnussen, Grosjean, Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Kimi Raikkonen, McDonald, Alesi, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now, it's been a little while since I recorded this race, so I can't remember exactly how I was feeling at this point. I do think I wasn't quite gelling that well with the Silverstone circuit. Maggots and Beckett's especially can be quite tough. It does look like I'm doing this section pretty well here, so I don't think it was proving too much of an issue, but I just wasn't very fast. I do think it's quite a strong circuit for the AI. That being said, these first few laps are really uneventful. I mean, we've got the same cars just ahead and the same cars just behind. I don't think I really pull out of range of Magnussen behind, but I do loose touch of Albon in front. It takes until lap 5 for something to actually happen. By this point, Albon is 4.5 seconds up the road and pulling further ahead, and I'm just losing time, I'm hemorrhaging time, and Magnussen is right up my tail. So, because DRS has now been enabled, there's no way I can really defend against the Haas and the Alfa Romeo behind, and Giovinazzi is on a flyer. He flies past both Magnussen and me for 14th, and then he brake checks me. And so he loses the place. I don't get much, if any, damage because I'm using reduced damage. But yeah, that was a stupid move from Giovinazzi. He had it done, and then he brake checked me and got himself lost in the ether. But he's still right behind me. I am a bit slower because I am on medium tyres, everyone else is on softs, so that probably doesn't help my case at this point. A few seconds down the road, we're passing through Woodcut. Pay attention to the map, the mini-map down below. You can see that a yellow flag has just appeared behind me, and this is going to be crucial. Giovinazzi is much faster than me. He's trying to get past before Maggots and Beckett's. I kind of blocked him, and oh dear, it's Giuliano. He's out of the session, he's out of the race, and safety car has been deployed. This is really kind of annoying, because I've been watching Tiamat Marduk's career mode, and every time he has one car retire, nothing really seems to happen, but for me, every time a car retires on my game, the safety car seems to just be guaranteed. It just wants to come out whenever it feels like it seems. So the safety car allows the soft runners who started in the top 10, those who got into Q3, it allows them to pit for fresh rubber, and it looks like some of them are going onto medium tyres. I'm not sure if those will last the rest of the race, but we'll see. So, into the safety car, I'm right behind Alex Albon again, and he's going to get a great launch through Brooklands or whatever turn this is, and me, not so much. After all, at this point in the career mode, this car is still one of the worst on the grid, so yeah, compared to the Red Bull, it's not going to be able to keep up. And I think the Alfa Romeo was still better than my car at this point, before the performance patch came along. Yeah. He's already almost a second up the road. I'm not going to be able to keep within DRS range. In fact, he's already a second ahead. And, yeah, Albon is just going to fly down the road, whilst I'm not going to be able to lose Giovinazzi and Raikkonen behind. Probably because I'm still on the mediums, but also because the car is a crock of shit. One lap later, and Raikkonen and Giovinazzi are both dogpiling my rear end, and though DRS has not been re-enabled at this point, it's very clear that those two Alfa Romeos are a lot faster than my little Taycan car. Oh dear. They are much better through all the turns than I am. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe the AI is still a bit too low, but definitely those two Alphas are just faster than me in general. And DRS is now being enabled, so if they don't overtake on the Wellington Straight, they will on the Hangar Straight. But that's just how it is. Remarkably, they didn't really catch up to me that much on the Wellington Straight, but Maggots and Beckett's and the Hangar Straight are right here. And though they're not as close behind me as they were, I kind of didn't get Beckett's that well, good, like, and actually, that's still only 5/10 behind. AI, maybe. Maybe the AI is a bit too low. we're becoming quite familiar with cops at this point, because once again, Giovinazzi is right behind me, but Raikkonen is behind, well, Leclerc, who was flying in his recently new-tired, reshod Ferrari. He is right behind me. I kind of messed maggots up again. I'm using Rich Mix, using up as much of my battery as I can, and it's only just staving off Giovinazzi's Alpha, who messes up the Stowe corner, but it doesn't matter because he's coming into the pits anyway. And now, oh, Leclerc's not on mediums, he's on hards. So he's right behind me, and I'm not really gonna fight against. Leclerc because he's just much faster. At this point, the Ferrari was the second best car in the game. Yeah, and Bottas is behind him too. I'm actually leading the race, but it won't be for much longer because Leclerc is going so much faster, and I'm not fighting this. He can go past me. Bottas can too.
We're only 2 seconds behind the car ahead. Keep pushing.
So it's my pit lap now, and I'm coming in for a set of the softs. The aim of that game is to, well, make sure that I have a nice fast car, or at least as fast a car as possible, towards the end of the Grand Prix, whereas when everyone else is on older mediums and hards. Of course, this means I'm dropping out of the points, at least for the time being, but hopefully on my softer rubber, fresher, softer rubber, I'll be quite quick. And it's a pretty good pit stop from the crew too.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track. 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Unfortunately, whilst the strategy was sound, putting on faster tyres towards the end of the race, it unfortunately probably wasn't the right call to make. It put me out of sync with the rest of the field, and I was pushing so hard that in the end I just depleted all of my battery and used up most of my fuel. It's not been a very good race for Lewis Hamilton, though. He's had a retirement on the game, which he has more times than he does in real life. Seriously, Lewis Hamilton hasn't had a mechanical failure since the middle of 2018. Please, just have one mechanical failure, please. At this point in the race too, it's more about finishing for dignity more than anything else. 10th is way too far up the road, and we're catching up to Grosjean at the Brooklands section, and it's just not enough, finishing in 16th place.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Ha, not really.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? Appreciate your time.
And this particular video recording kind of signifies the end of an era for me, in a way. This was the last video that I recorded using my faithful GTX 1050 Ti graphics card. Sometime after this, it started having its fan issue. It started making a loud grinding noise, and I eventually replaced it with a GTX 1650. The 1050 Ti has since been repaired, and it is now acting as a backup for the 1650. So from round 13 onwards in Hungary, 1650 territory.